Good time zone. It's me, DjDoubleT, here and existing with some hard to make a romantic cartoon. And I think this will be the series finale because we're at the climax. I know it. Like, I can feel it at the end. And if not, I'm playing until the end of the series today. I hope all is well. But for now, I think I'll dive into episode 23. Wonder what that'll be. Hard to make a romantic cartoon, episode 23, the end of a long journey. Breathing was painful. I wanted to speak, but couldn't gather enough strength to use my voice. Hyun was startled and called for someone. Jinha was crying and shivering like a brittle tree in the wind. I looked up at their faces and felt a small belated regret.
미안하다는 말을 해야 했는데.
I have to apologize. My vision was becoming dark. I heard someone clicking on the tongue and a distant, strange voice said, "Do you really not like what I do that much? Fine then. See if it will work out the way you want it to, Cheon Yunjae." I could tell already. When I open my eyes, I won't be Chado Young anymore. Just as I thought. When I opened my eyes, I was in my original body. It wasn't the hospital, nor was it Hyun's place, or Do-hee and my home. It was Cheon Yunjae's small rent room. All those things that bothered me but at the same time made me happy, now turned into someone else's story.
그래도 아무도 다치거나 죽지 않았잖아.
But no
다행인가?
one was hurt or killed. That's all that counts. I tried to think positively, but I didn't feel the same happiness when I first jumped out. I simply closed my eyes and accepted the reality. If you're not going to throw away your life completely, then don't ever come back. Oh. That's the writer's... The writer's cold words echoed in my mind.
그동안 나는 양쪽에 두 발을 모두 걸치고
I've been putting my foot on both camps.
언제든 돌아갈 수 있다는 자세로 애매하게 굴었어.
I've been acting uncertainly as if I can go back anytime. The writer continuously intervened in the story, and as Cha Do-young, I'll be swayed by it as always.
그렇게 되면 내가 했던 결심은 다 쓸모 없어지겠지.
Then all my resolve would turn out useless.
그러니까
So
돌아갈 수 없어.
I can't go back.
그만하자.
Let's end it here. I had to end it. Now it's really time to wake up from the dream. My journey was over. Do-young was lying down, looking lifeless.
대체
Why?
어째서?
How come? I couldn't understand how you could have made this choice.
뭐가 그렇게 절망스러워서
Made
그런
you so
무너진
desperate,
얼굴로.
with that broken look on your face. Ha Sang-woo was arrested on the spot. He sat looking with a blank look on his face for a long time. Ha Sang-woo was handcuffed and forced into the back of a police car. He shook his head continuously and blurted out in a teary voice,
너는 왜 그런 잔인한 짓을?
"Oh, could you be so cruel?" Just looking back at the moment made my heart freeze up and I couldn't breathe. How could you do such a cruel thing right in front of me? In the end, I felt immense resentment towards Do-young. However, all were meaningless unless Do-young withstands and wakes up.
싫어. 도영아, 안 돼. 나 두고 가지 마.
No, Do-young, don't you leave me. Next to me, Lee Jin-ah was crying like a baby.
차도영은 안 죽어. 내가 살려낼 거야.
Cha Do-young won't die.
무조건.
I'll save him, no matter what. Lee Jin-ah and I couldn't believe Do-young's side even after he went into the OR. Finally, the OR door closed and there was a chilly silence in the hallway. Every minute and second that passed felt like 1,000 years. After a desperately long time, the OR door finally opened and the doctor walked out. Do-young's okay, right? The doctor answered with a low voice. The surgery went well. Everyone, including me, breathed a collective sigh of relief on hearing what we had hoped for. However, it's not life-threatening right now, but it's hard to say right now whether or not he'll be able to regain consciousness. I couldn't believe what he was saying. It doesn't make sense. Do-young. No way, that can't be. The faces of Do-hee and Jungmin, who came after us, and the face of Gang-hyun, who stayed with me, looked locked in a look of surprise. I also felt like my feet were falling out from under me. If he doesn't regain consciousness, then what? The doctor spoke cautiously to everyone who was still in shock and unable to accept the situation. You'd better be prepared. This is completely a matter of whether or not Cha Do-young is willing to return. Do-young's will? If he never comes back, no matter how much time passes... Well... If he never comes back, no matter how much time passes, what will you do? A strange voice cut through all the others around me. Suddenly my eyes met with Gang Hyun's. I was convinced that he had heard the same voice too. Time flew by with ease. It was long enough to strengthen my heart, which used to be shaken just by looking at Do-young.
꼭 잠자고 있는 것 같네.
It definitely looks like you're sleeping. As always, I was sitting in a chair next to the bed, looking down at Do-young.
도영아, 나 또 왔어.
Do-young, I'm back again. I'm here. He caressed Do-young's hand, which had become smaller and thinner than before.
조금 전에 무슨 하루 세 번 밥 먹듯이 오냐고 차도이한테 한 소리 들었어.
A little while ago, Do-hui scolded me for coming to see you too often.
얜 7번은 오고 싶은 걸 가까스로 참고 있는 건데.
Been actually wanting to come 6 or 7 times, but I held back.
차도이도 바보다. 그치?
Cha Do-hui is pretty lame, isn't she?
눈치 줘도 계속 찾아올 테니까 이번엔 제대로 마중 나와줘.
I'll keep coming to see you, even if she gives me the eye, so... You come fetch me, okay? I held onto Do-young's hand tightly as I said so. I laced our fingers together, not wanting to let go of it.
내 말 들리지? 도영아, 나 기다리고 있어.
You can hear me, right? Do-young, I'm waiting for you. If Do-young is wandering around somewhere, I want to take his hand and show him the way. And tell him that this was his place to be, right here.
우리
Please,
제발 일어나서 만나.
come back to me. Please. I buried my lips deeply to the back of Do-young's hand.
날 두고 네가 가긴 어딜 가.
You can't go anywhere without me. I still can understand nor accept the fact that he still wouldn't wake up. I had no intention of doing so for any reason.
아직 너랑 나 사이엔 정산이 안 된 게 남아 있어.
There's still an unfinished business between you and me. Let's pretend to be close to each other. Let's be friends. What? Why are you doing this to me? What do you mean? There's nothing I can give you. The reason why I pulled out this now vague memory was because I wanted to rush and push Do-young.
그 대가를 지금 당장 받아야겠으니까.
I really need you to pay me the cost right away.
어서 빨리 일어나. 돌아오라고.
And wake up. Come back.
난 역시 안 되겠어.
I really can't
네가 아니면.
do this unless it's with you.
그러니까 차도영 일어나.
So, Cha, Do-young, wake up.
억울하면 지금 당장 일어나서 따져보란 말이야.
If you feel wronged, get up and get back at me right now. Extreme storytelling, sure, why not? It's possible some people may like that. These days, over the top was considered a genre as well. However, this is just way too much. What's wrong with this now? change the title to Cha Do-young's Hospital Diary. Someone page me when Cha Do-young wakes up. Well, of course, it's the big picture of the writer to make them all non-minors. I guess there's something the writer wants them to do. As grown-ups, Cha Do-young bums up blushed. Re-rated to rated R. Well, at first, there were also comments trying to understand, but even after their SAT scores were out and went to college, and even after they've come of age, the story just was focused on the hospital. Their day ended with me, Cha Do-young, in the hospital. Is it like how to effectively care for bedridden patients? So, what the hell does the writer want to talk about? Someone asked to page her, but is anyone reading this? And then, there were none. After the last comment, there weren't any others popping up anymore. It has really become a forgotten story. I tried tempting them, thinking that enough time has passed to have them forget about the young, but no, not a chance. I was at a loss for words. These characters were stubborn as hell. The world that I had created had been shaken like never before. You win, Shun Yunjae. Cha Do-young. I spent most of my free time spent sleeping at home or in school. After getting back, I purposely chose not to read the webtoon. But I dreamt of that world. I cried for a long time, even after waking up.
보고 싶어.
I miss them. Just thinking this made me feel so ashamed of myself. I live with self-criticism and depression, and tears flow down my face all the time.
그곳의 친구들은 언제나 괜찮다고 나를 아껴줬었는데
My friends there always reassured me and cared about me.
이곳에선 망가진 나를 이상하게만 봐.
People here just look at my broken self strangely.
하지만 안 될 소리잖아.
But there's nothing I can do. I should never go back. My friends will get hurt if I went back, because of the writer, because of Do-young. Just doing each day was so difficult and exhausting. And one day... Buzz buzz! My phone's alarm rang endlessly.
뭐야?
What's this? I inadvertently picked up the phone and was surprised. I couldn't count how many push notifications I missed, but the content was all really weird. Advertisement. Do-young, I'm waiting for you. Shortcut to... We must love each other. Advertisement. You can't go anywhere without me. Shortcut to... We must love each other. Advertisement. Please come back to me. Shortcut to... We must love each other. Advertisement. I really can't do this unless it's with you. Shortcut to... We must love each other. I had no idea what these were all about. What the hell does this mean? You told me not to come back. What is this, trying to tease me or something? The use of the word shortcut was also suspicious.
어디로 바로 가는 건데?
Where does the shortcut lead to?
이건 웹툰을 보라는 뜻일까?
Is it
아니면
telling me to read the webtoon?
돌아오라는 뜻일까?
Or does it mean for me to come back? My heart pounded hard for a moment. Hyun and Jinha still yearned to see me. I felt like I could hear the voices that I missed so much and was overwhelmed.
보고 싶어.
I wanted to see them. I looked at the notifications for a while. I wanted to touch the screen so much, but I tried my best to resist. I thought I should hurry and clear them. It was only making me dazed and confused.
이걸 어떻게 치워, 진짜.
How can I erase this? Gosh. I couldn't bring myself to clear the notifications, because it's so bittersweet, because I miss them so much. The next day when I woke up, there were even more notifications than the previous night.
정말로 작가인가?
Is it really the writer?
대체 왜?
But why? Why does the writer seem so impatient? I couldn't tell, but it was clear something had happened. Don't check them, check them. Might as well. I'll just read what happened in the webtoon. I didn't read the webtoon out of fear that I had weakened my mind, but things have changed. It seemed necessary to check and see the situation. Let's just check that only nothing new would have happened. If nothing's wrong, then it's all fine. I want you to forget about me and move on, even though it'll be so sad. I looked at the latest episode nervously and was shocked. I couldn't tell how many years had passed in the story. They already took the AST. Wrong words. They already took the SAT? These kids can drive and drink alcohol now? No way. Are they my age now then? Soon enough, my eyes started to well up. Every new episode was a desperate plea for me to return to that world. Those two didn't forget about me. They were holding on to me, waiting. Idiots. They were stubborn and stupid, just reckless. But even so, they were still lovely. I just couldn't help but love them. I held on to my little phone where they were in and cried my heart out. After attending the lectures absentmindedly, I went straight back home. I stared at my phone, deep in thought. I don't want to be stressed anymore. Call me selfish all you want. I'd probably live the rest of my life feeling sorry for my family here. But now that I'm back again, I now know for sure. I was no longer Cheon-Yun-jae. My life wasn't in this place anymore. I finally got a hold of myself and made up my mind. I didn't want to live on feeling out of place and missing those that mattered to me. I'm still hesitant. There is no hesitation. Well, hello, Inari. Well, congrats on reaching 7 days. I don't care if I can't come back here.
나는 차도영이고 싶어.
I want to be Cha Do-young.
마침내 입 밖으로 나오고만 마음의 소리였다.
Finally, my mouth spoke the words of truth.
떨리는 손으로 핸드폰 화면을 켰다.
I turned on my phone with trembling hands.
잔뜩 쌓여있는 알림 중에 하나를 골라
I chose one of the stacked notifications.
눈을 질끈 감고는 바로 가기란 글자 부분을 꾹 눌렀다.
I closed my eyes tightly and touched the shortcut link. So, Inari, or for anybody who doesn't know what's happening in the storyline, basically, so Cheon-Yun-jae is like the real world version, and then Cha Do-young is the character that I become for being transported in the world. And because Cheon-Yun-jae was like in the world and got really attached, but then like left, and then realized he's no longer himself anymore and would rather be in that world, that's the reason why he wants to be him. Because the boys are waiting. They've been waiting for years. Because in the last episode of the series, Cha Do-young basically held the knife that the villain was holding at him and like harmed himself in a sense. And basically the writer was like, I'm fed up with this. Leave. Don't come back. And then now that like Cheon-Yun-jae has like processed everything, he wants to go back in,
이것으로 그들의 곁으로 돌아갈 수 있기를
hoping that
간절히 바라며
this will lead me back to them.
느리게 눈을 깜빡였다.
I blinked slowly.
새하얀 천장이 보였다.
Oh, wait, maybe I should change that. I blinked slowly. A white ceiling came into view.
좀 전까지 있었던 자취방이 아니었다.
It wasn't my rent room that I was just in.
나
I
돌아왔어.
came back. Gang Hee-yeon and Lee Jin-ha, the faces of the two with their eyes wide open, were in front of me. I felt emotional. I wanted to laugh. I wanted to cry. There were so many things I wanted to say if we met again. That wasn't all I wanted to do with them. I wanted to hug them so tight that they'd be out of breath. My voice doesn't work. My body was weak from lying down for so long. It was difficult to move again. My senses in this whole body had become muted all over all of lost time, and it felt strange. Instead, with all of my affection, I blinked at the two faces that I was looking at. I'm back. In the end, I came back. Because I missed you guys. I couldn't forget you guys. I really don't think that I can live without you guys anymore.
차도영, 너 너무
Cha Do-young,
너무 오래 잤잖아.
you've been sleeping for too long. Hyun's face, full of disbelief at the situation, finally collapsed like a child.
미안해.
I'm sorry. The words that I hardly pushed out of my mouth were soundless.
고생했어. 잘했어.
You did
고마워.
a great job. You did so well. Thank you. Junha's face was covered with tears. All three of us who had finally reunited hugged each other and cried for a long time. God knows when she walked in, but though he was crying silently, covering her mouth, she's probably doing so out of consideration for the two boys crying, clinging on to me.
도희야, 이리 와.
He come here. Although it was practically a small hiss, though he managed to understand me and came running. Do-young. I felt bad for having to feel this way though through everyone's cries, but I felt relieved.
나 돌아왔어.
I'm back. Finally, I'm here. Episode 23, the end of a long journey, finished.
네가 없는 시간을 어떻게 버텨야 좋을까?
Alright. Guys, we have actually reached the final episode. Oh yeah, Elinari, it is. But I am getting the ending I wanted, because I guess there's two endings, either Hyun or Jinha. But there could be a third ending, where you don't want either one of them. I'm not sure though. But you guys ready for the ending? I also like how my intuition was right. I'm like, I can feel the ending coming soon. Jinha ending. Hard to make a romantic cartoon. Jinha ending. Me and Jinha's happily ever after. The month before Do-young woke up.
정말로 도영이야? 도영아.
Is it really Do-young? Do-young. Do-young was looking at me. It's been a long time since I've seen him conscious. I wanted to dash toward him right away, but there was this invisible wall between us.
도영아. 내가 그쪽으로 갈게. 기다려.
Do-young, I'll go over to you. Wait for me. There. The transparent wall showed Do-young to the full, but it didn't allow me to go near him. I tried to move forward somehow, but I couldn't. His sad face looked at me and mumbled something.
기다려. 돌아갈게.
Wait. I'll be back.
너를
You...
눈을 뜨니 병실이었고 나는 울고 있었다.
I opened my eyes in the hospital and found myself crying.
도영이도 여전히 눈을 감고 있었다.
Do-young's eyes were still closed.
꿈이었나?
Was I dreaming? I spent most of my time in Do-young's hospital room.
꿈에서처럼 네가
I
눈을
wish
뜬다면 좋을
You'd
텐데.
open your eyes like you did in my dream. My heart sank miserably at the sight of Do-young still asleep.
어떤 것을 희생해도 좋아. 네가 눈을
Sacrifice-
떴으면 좋겠어.
Anything. I want you to open your eyes. I don't know what more I can do for you.
이 이상
There's something more that I
어떻게
like.
더 좋아해?
My feelings for Do-young kept growing more and more. I burst into tears because of unresolved longing. I like you a lot,
널 많이 좋아해.
Do-young.
도영아.
The dim room was filled with only the sounds of my sobbing.
네가 내 머리를 쓰다듬어줬으면 좋겠어.
I want you to pat me on the head.
네가 내 등을 터닥거려줬으면 좋겠어.
I want you to pat me on the back.
너의 손길이,
I miss your
너의 모든
touch.
것들이 너무 그리워.
I miss everything about you.
난
I'll wait for you here
이 자리에서
until the
끝까지 널
very end.
기다릴게. 아주 많이 돌아가더라도
Please come back,
돌아오기만 해줘.
even if it takes a long time. I gently swept my fingers across the young's face. So pretty.
너무 예뻐.
His calm, sleeping face shone like the sun. My heart still beats and yearns for you.
움직이는 너의 모습이 보고
I
싶어.
want to see you wake up and move about like normal again.
이렇게 가까이 있는데 네가 그리워 견딜 수 없어.
Even though you're right here, I miss you so much.
너는 어디를 방황하고 있을까?
Where are you wandering off to?
내가 너를
음.
찾아갈 수는 없을까?
Let me go find you instead.
나를 불러줘. 그게 어디든 찾아갈게.
Call out to me.
제발.
I'll find you anywhere. Please. I begged, holding on to Do-young's hand. I should have told you this while you were still here. I should have come closer to you.
다시 한 번만 기회가 있다면
Give me one more chance.
더 솔직해질게.
I'll be more sincere. I want to show you every bit of my heart. My body and soul are all immersed in you. Now the word like didn't do justice anymore in expressing my feelings.
사랑해.
Love you.
사랑해.
I love you.
사랑해.
I love you. I was confessing it to the air, but somehow it just felt like I should say it right now. For letting out my feelings that I've been holding in. Tears welled up in my eyes again.
내 말 들려?
Can't you hear me? I hope my heart reaches you. I desperately do.
내일도 너를 찾아올게.
I'll come see you again tomorrow.
그 다음 날도
And the day after.
또 그 다음 날도
And the next.
네가 눈을 떴을 때
I hope
내가
I'll be
곁에
there.
있었으면 좋겠어.
when you open your eyes. You were my destiny from the moment I first met you. I'd fallen in love before I had realized it. Such clarity. Out of impulse, I pressed my lips hard against Do-young's. I was out of my mind.
도영아,
Do-young. Jinha, I'm sorry. I need to pause that, but like, this ain't no Sleeping Beauty scenery. You can't just also consent. I'm very sickly.
도영아,
Do-young,
사랑해.
I love you. I was asleep all day, or tossing and turning all night long to try and get to sleep somehow. I knew I shouldn't, but at times I slept with the help of sleeping pills. I miss you. I was seized by never-ending expectations and despair. I was already a huge mess. I heard a sound, the sound of someone calling out to me.
정말로 도영이야? 도영아,
Is it really Do-young? Do-young? Jinha? I could hear more clearly as I started recognizing whose voice it was. Do-young. Jinha. It seemed that we couldn't have a proper conversation, but I still answered anyway. Hearing a voice that I missed so dearly, I couldn't just sit and wait. Do-young, I'll go over to you. Wait for me, there. Jinha choked up tears, desperate cry, and replied, Wait just a bit. I'll be sure to go back. I know for sure now because you called me. Jinha, I like you. I could no longer hold and cried my heart out. My vision was covered with darkness. I can't remember clearly, but I think I dreamed of something I've been longing. Few months have passed since I came back into the webtoon. Fortunately, the rehab program helped me recover quickly. Jinha put his chin on my shoulder and said softly from behind, or it may have just been on the writer's gift that I recovered so fast. I don't know why, but the writer kept silent. There was no more memory loss out of the blue, nor were there any extremely dramatic incidents happening either, which was a good thing. I'll have to take care of things on my own from now on. Well, there are still other problems left. I couldn't remember when I lived as Seonyun Jae, but I remembered everything as soon as I came back. It was Jinha that called out for me. I can't apologize to Hyun enough, but I need to choose now. I promised myself every day. Hyun must have realized this as he did not come to see me anymore. Hyun, I'm sorry. So except that fact, everything was at peace. Jinha visited me every day after I was discharged from the hospital. Jinha? What? How about I go back to school? Jinha dropped the apple he was peeling. In the heavy silence that followed, only the sound of the apple rolling on the floor could be heard. Was it that weird what I said? I don't think that's a good idea. It was the first time Jinha had shown determination. What? I just thought... I'm worried about you. If any strange kids start hanging around you. I could hear the worry in his soft voice. It won't be easy to go back to high school, because it wasn't easy beforehand. You're being overprotective. My lower lip pouted. Let's study. I'll teach you. How about getting a GED instead? A GED certificate? Given that this isn't the first time with college, it felt like a good bet. Okay. And that was the start of my full-throttle studying. Jinha was a superb teacher. The problem was...
매일매일 정말 공부만 하다니.
I had to study each and every day.
가끔은
Sometimes I
꽁냥거리고
just want to
싶단
play
말이지.
around. Jinha made me sit next to the bed. I leaned back in his arms.
도영아.
Young? Jinha could do nothing but follow my lead. I was a bit embarrassed, but Jinha, although surprised, followed along. So I decided to gather up my courage.
이렇게 공부할 테니까 기다려.
I'm going to study like this, so stay still. Jinha nodded eagerly like a lovable puppy.
말도 잘 듣지.
Such a good boy. He was so adorable, so I turned around and gave him a little kiss. I felt like it turned out to be a big mistake. I tried to focus on studying again, but soon after I could feel Jinha squirming behind me. At first I thought he was uncomfortable because of how I was sitting. Then I could tell that wasn't it. When his warm breath touched the back of my neck, surprised, I turned around to him shaking a bit.
이진아.
Lee Jinha!
어?
Huh? Jinha was looking at me with an innocent look.
진아가 원래 이랬나?
Was Jinha always like this? I didn't expect him to be this playful.
안 돼.
No. I glared at him as a warning and turned my eyes to my workbook again. Jinha made me sit next to the bed. Before I could finish solving the next problem in my workbook, I shivered in surprise and as a hand slipped into my clothes.
어쭈?
Yeah, okay. Whoa. Jinha's hands had been carefully at my waist, starting to move towards my chest. I bit my lower lip gently at this subtle touch.
진아, 너...
Hey! Before words of blame were thrown, Jinha put his chin on my shoulder and said softly from behind.
내가 생각해봤는데 도영이 넌 똑똑하니까
I had thought about it, Do-young, because you're so smart.
하루
Shall we
정도는
end here for the
쉬어도
day and rest?
충분하지 않을까?
I was the one who encouraged him, but I didn't think he'd be this bold.
기껏해야 뽀뽀 정도를 생각했는데 말이지.
I thought of kissing at best. I firmly removed Jinha's hand.
도영아,
Do-young. Jinha, who thought I'd go along quietly, buried his face on my shoulder.
진아야?
Jinha,
너랑 좀 더 가까워지고 싶어.
I just want to get a little closer to you.
왜 이렇게 귀여운 건지.
Why are you being so cute like this? Oh, sorry, no, I didn't see that last one, but the main character is Cha Do-young. Like this guy. But your in real life character, Chung Yun-jae is also it's still you. So they're both still the main character. I thought Jinha was lovely despite he was being so stubborn. I liked it when Jinha was sometimes obedient and obsessed with me and stubborn. Without realizing it, I reached out to touch one of Jinha's ears.
만져봐도 돼.
You can touch it. At that moment, the world became a bit blurry and I felt dizzy. The young's body temperature was turning me on.
사실 나도 너랑 가까워지고
Actually,
싶어.
I want to be closer to you.
그래도
Let's
조금
take a little slow.
천천히.
I wasn't the only one who wanted more. Without even thinking, I smiled while giving out a sigh of relief. Cha Do-young, so kind and sweet. Do-young, my love. I caressed Do-young's soft cheek.
네가 무서워하는 건 안 해.
I won't do anything you're afraid of. Jinha gave a light, soft kiss. Touched me delicately. A cute, playful sound came to my ears as he kissed me. Playful kisses on my lips, cheeks, eyes, forehead, and the tip of my nose. It went on without end. Each kiss seemed like he was asking me, right? It's not scary, right?
정말
Gosh. Eventually, I raised the end of my lips with a small sigh. I had no choice but to put my arm around Jinha's shoulder. As if it were a signal, the atmosphere turned intense. Jinha's tongue pushed through my open lips. It was so steamy that I wondered how he had been hiding such a heat. Every time his hot tongue twitched to my mouth, my body flinched slightly. Mm, mm, mm. I tried to push Jinha away out of embarrassment. I choked up my tears at his desperate cry and replied. His passionate eyes and cheeky smile met my eyes. The heat consumed my head and I felt dizzy. There were things that I wanted to ask, but I couldn't let it out from the back of my throat.
대체 이런 건 어디서 배워왔어?
Where the hell did he learn how to do this? The brims of my eyes turned red from lust, just like my reddened lips. Sensual thrill was too much for me. Just way too much. I couldn't even get good sleep at night, let alone studying. Memories of the past night were played over and over again. Every time I closed my eyes,
이진아,
Jinha
강아지가 아니라
beat my ass.
늑대였어.
He was a wolf. It was annoying. It was annoying to see Jinha go to work looking refreshed.
그래도
But
너만큼 나를 사랑해주는
there will
사람은
never
없을
be anyone
거야.
who loves me as much as you do.
오늘 저녁은 쥐나가 좋아하는 카레라도 만들까?
Shall I make Jinha's favorite curry for dinner tonight?
창밖을 보니 구름 한 점 없는 화창한 날씨였다.
Looking out the window, it was a fine day without even a cloud in the sky.
따스한 햇빛이 내 얼굴을 비추고 있었다.
The warm sunlight was shining down on me.
기분이 좋아진 나는
I smiled,
배시시
feeling good.
미소지.
Oh. Alright. That's the end, guys. But yeah, that's hard to make a romantic cartoon, at least for the Jianha's ending. I don't think I'll ever play again to go through the Hyun's ending, but I would say if I were to rate this game out of 10, I'd give it a solid 6. Like, there were definitely a lot of English typos, and like at least the translation to the English version. And even though they worked on it, it's still, I would say it's still pretty good. Like, the characters were nice. The story honestly felt a little long, just because at some points I kind of wish there was something else there. And maybe more attention to the side characters, or at least I feel like, hey, I should have hung out with my sister a little bit more. Like, my sister was awesome, but I feel like we didn't get to interact with her enough. And I do enjoy some of the cute puppy moments. There were some cute puppy moments. But yeah, that is hard to make a romantic cartoon. I hope you guys enjoyed this whole series as we've gone through it. And
내
I
얼굴에
feel like
뭐 묻었어? 어디에? 가까이 와서 알려줘.
over time I got better and better with like a little bit of character acting. And I had fun with it. But yeah. Thank you to those who have like seen the series throughout so far and have like supported it bit by bit. Thank you, Nara, for being around, and for anybody else who stopped by to watch the stream. For now, we will be switching to a different game. And then, yeah. So I'll be right back. Oh, right, but if you're watching this on YouTube, thanks for watching. And if you want to see me play similar games like this, or have any recommendations, or you want to see me live on Twitch, feel free to come over. But for now, we'll be right back. Thank you very much.